thought, this is weird. You never know what you're going to do, what you're going to feel like when you get up here in the front and you say, oh no. Can you hear me?
No, not too much.
Okay. Jerry,
Is it green?
It's green. But so am I when it comes to this. No. How about now? No. Well, you got it. Doesn't work on that side either, does it? See, this gives you a lot of confidence in how your talk is going to go. Oh wow, here I am in front of my spiritual family, and I don't have any voice. You ready for yours? How about that? Oh, that's working. Okay. I'll do this. I'll see where it goes. It gives me something to... So this is kind of like what is and who is CSL. I'm going to be talking about a little bit about spiritual families and it kind of reminds me of my family when I was young and out of the Army, and was a bunch of, we were all long-haired, counterculture, and we kind of made this situation right now look like normal. So, what in who is CSA? Well, the S stands for spiritual. Let me say something about what Ernest Holmes says about spiritual. Okay? Spirituality is natural goodness. God is not a person. God is a presence. Personified in us. Spirituality is not a thing. It is the atmosphere of God's presence. Goodness, truth, and beauty. Can you disagree with that in any place? Because that kind of connect. You carry, whether you use the word God, or Allah, or love, or nature, or goddess, it doesn't matter. Because all those words still come back to the singularity, to the absolute. My experience, I have become very much in love with the word living life. Because that's the way I feel about it. So we open up our service. I really don't like this thing, by the way. We open up our service with the centering song. The centering song is what we do by ritual, every time we meet here. It centers us on the presence of God. We talk about God, we talk about love. Pretty interchangeable. So we talk about right then when we're doing that, where we want our consciousness to be, our group consciousness, how we come together as a group. And so that's one of the first steps in being a spiritual family. I want to talk about spiritual families, okay? Because whether you kind of think about it much, but coming here today, this kind of involves you, whether you're brand new pretty much or only been a couple of times. Are you going to come forever? You're part of the family. Okay. family meets, we come together voluntarily. Okay? I didn't think anybody was drug here against their will, were they? And I hope not. Okay. The common denominator here, the thing that ties us together, it's not our DNA. It's not our looks. Although we all look pretty good, okay? But it's not our looks. Our brains, our affluence, okay? How affluent we are. Rather, a spiritual community comes together based on common beliefs and a higher power. When we meet, we collectively think about ways that we can make the world a better place. Almost every single thing that happens up here is with that intention to make our life and our world a better place. It's kind of a wonderful place to hold that. Just, you know this, but I just want to awaken it. I just want to remind you how powerful that is. A healthy spiritual community, we encourage each other to be more loving. You come in the morning, and there are grievers. It's pretty hard to feel angry and agitated and frustrated when somebody meets you with love and open hearts. It's really kind of a beautiful place to start today. We build each other up and appreciate each other's contributions. We don't look for places to criticize, but rather we look for ways to praise. We look for ways to praise each other. We realize that anything that we achieve is a gift from God. And if we don't, hopefully we will. Okay? And that leads us hopefully to be more perfect. And that's kind of a challenge in this world, especially when we turn on the radio or the TV and we hear everything but humility. But you come here and you can feel it. Family, and we have many types in our lives. I'll be personal for a bit. As a child, there was my immediate family. I had parents and thank you. And grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins. And most of us have had that experience. That's kind of our first foundation in the family. And then I had a religious family, kind of. I was raised an Irish Catholic, okay? And the difference between an Irish Catholic and an Italian Catholic is the Irish Catholic drinks beer and the Italian Catholic drinks wine, but So even though I moved consistently, the church was still kind of a little bit of a family for me, because it was always the same wherever we went. But other than my family by blood, I had other bonds in my life. And you think about, as I reflect a few in mine, think about other people who've been here. When I was in my teens, before I went in the military, I belonged to a gang. Maybe I don't want to really elaborate too much on that, but I was maybe a little bit more of a rogue or wild person than I am now. So I belonged to a gang. But interesting, they were kind of family for me, okay? Although they got me into a lot of trouble, but they were, connected. And then I went in the military. And that was a different kind of family. Okay? And a different kind of tie. But every time I had a family, it made an impact on me. And I'll bet you can say the same thing in your life. Every time you connected with a family, it's made a change in your life. Sometimes for the better, sometimes maybe not. Okay? So, I got out and I went to the university. Now, before I went to university, I had a profound and incredible, life-changing spiritual experience. Okay? And so, my vision began to shift. It really began to shift at that time. And now I'm getting into 69, 70. I was very young though, okay? And I'm beginning to look for something different. There's something awakening in me. Okay, I'm a man now in my mid-20s, 24, 25, 26, 27, right in there. And I start connecting with people who I felt this vibration with. I felt this, the sense of we both have the same yearning. We were looking, we were searching. And so the 70s, what an incredible time. And I started to realize how important it was to not travel alone on a spiritual journey. And so without thinking about it too much, I started to think about a spiritual family, but without defining it as such. So it's been a lifelong journey. In the 70s, I studied Vedanta yoga. And I studied with Anna Garika and Vedic Buddhism, and Sufism came in the 70s. And in the late 70s, I attended a church in Spokane. I worked for the mental health in Spokane in those days. And up on, I don't remember, 33rd or 35th, somewhere in there, I went to a church called the Church of Religious Science. I spent a couple of years going to the Church of Religious Science. And I guess we could say they're cousins of ours here at CSL. And what I liked about the Church of Religious Science is that it was a very small church. And although, like I said, by this time I'm getting into my, into my career pretty strongly, they accepted that. They liked that I had a strange name. In those days, because I was a yogi, my name was Chocolate Bunny. Okay? Well, they liked it. They thought it was pretty cool. So how do I identify when I come here? I identify as Saladin, because I kind of got initiated back in the 70s to the Church of Religious Science by saying, yeah, I'm known as Chocolate Bunny. Here, in my spiritual tradition, I'm known as Saladin. I like it. I don't go to the Elks Club. I don't go anyway, but if I did, I would be frank. Okay? When I go to any other organization, I'm frank. I come to CSL, most of you know me as Saladin. What I liked about the Church of Religious Science is that they were really not only warm and inclusive, but they spoke a language that wasn't incongruent with the language I spoke. It harmonized, and I really liked it. Basically, that period of my life in the 70s my heart started to seek in it, really looking for more kindred souls that would walk with me. And I would walk with them. I want to read a little room here for you just a minute. I quoted just a little bit of it last week. The chairs are different, the speaker's different, man, everything's different today. But, as Rumi would say, the way is full of genuine sacrifice. The thickets blocking the path are anything that keep you from that. Any fear that you may be broken to bits like a glass bottle. This road demands courage and stamina, yet is full of footprints. Who are these companions? They are rungs in your ladder. Use them. With company, you quicken your ascent. You may be happy enough going along and being alone, but with others, you'll get further and faster. Someone who goes cheerfully by himself to the customs house to pay his traveler's tax will go even more lightheartedly when friends are with him. Every prophet sought out companions. A wall standing alone is useless. But put 3 or 4 walls together, and they support a roof and keep the grain dry and safe. When ink joins with a pen, when the blank paper can say something, brushes and reeds must be woven to be used as a map. If they weren't interlaced, the wind would blow them away. Like that, God paired up preachers and gave them friendship. It's nice to be friends with your family. So, these 40-some years later, I feel to my bones, to the marrow of my bones, the incredible gift or blessing of my life. And I think most of you would agree, if you look at your life, of having a spiritual family. I'm not looking for Sufis, by the way. I'm not looking for yogis. Buddhists. Is it on?
Yes.
I am looking for a different way to talk, though. But I'm not looking for Sufis, and I'm not looking for yogis. I'm not looking for Buddhists or Christians or any other lineage. But what I'm drawn to is this. Some spiritual principles. That there's one ultimate loving energy that is present in all that exists. Again, it doesn't matter what you call it. But there's one. There's one essence. There's one absolute. And no matter what you call it, it's the same. I also am called to the idea that each of us has power beyond imagination. We co-create our life experience through the thoughts and beliefs we hold. We are completely capable of changing our lives and the world around us through the renewing, changing of our mind. And this leads to the changing of our hearts, by the way. And if you don't recognize this yet, I'm reading the principles of CSL. Okay? We live in an abundant universe. Okay? The Sufis call it samad. It's constantly, everything constantly expanding and growing. Constantly renewing. There's infinite possibilities. Within each of us, every one of us, there lies wisdom, love, and power that we need to create health, happiness, and meaning. It's within each of us. We just have to discover it. And it's nice to have a place to discover it. Each person is an individualized expression of God. One with God and one with all that is. We support personal paths to the realizations of oneness with the divine. And that is kind of the great non-dual concept. And we hold it here. Okay? We function in a duality, but the truth of it is non-dual. The only true power in the universe is love. Everything else is an illusion. That always shows up in the highest and best expression in everyone and every situation. Sufis call it Ishkalama Buddha. God is love, lover, and beloved. Okay? That's the only power. It's the only rule. It's part of our principles. And it's part of what calls, I think, everybody here. The power of intentional spiritual community accelerates our spiritual evolution. When individuals gather together to meditate, pray, and serve, their united consciousness contributes to the spiritual progress of each individual. In other words, man, you're not alone. And everything that happens touches you, and everything. There's a song about the goddess. She changes everything she touches, and everything that touches her changes. And that's the way it is. It's a beautiful song, and it fits right here, right now. Okay? So, the community gives us these opportunities. It allows us to cultivate patience, humility, compassion, and selflessness. Is there anybody here who needs selfless patience other than me? Just think about it. Now, I don't always use these same ideas to say what I've been looking for. We all have our own words for these principles. But when I read them, Is there any place in there where you can say, that's not me. That's not what my heart calls for. That's really not what I hungered for. We're talking about home. We're talking about family. Look around you. Just look around for a minute. Just look around. Take a look at these people. Because our chairs aren't well. You may have to twist your head even more. Okay? Now, and how we share this foundation with one another. We share this. Okay? Now, when I just read these principles of CSL, and you look around at these people that you share this life with, I doubt that this type of personal, philosophical, spiritual harmony seriously could be found for any of us anywhere else in this valley. We are graced here. It is not that there isn't other individuals, certainly, who share this with us, but here we have an established home. Home. That's kind of a good feeling. Home on the range. Home in your heart. So if you feel that you want to feed your heart, this is the place it calls for it. CSL holds us all with tenderness, compassion, and grace. Sufi, Buddhist, yogi, Christian, Jewish scholars, pagans, and on and on. Those are labels. Okay, those are labels. Those are labels, and they too often grab us by the mind. And what I want is the heart of the matter. I want the heart of the matter. I don't want the mind. Really? Are you serious? Oh, I'm going to have to hurry. Oh, okay, okay. Ruby says there's a voice that doesn't use words. There's a voice that doesn't use words. I'm asking you to listen to that voice. It's a heart, okay? I ask you for a moment, as I've done myself a number of times, imagine this valley without any type of CSL. Okay? All of a sudden, we can no longer come together. Okay? How would your life change? Really? How would your life change if for some reason this was to vanish? And all you have left was your memory of it. It would be a void for me. I'd like you to think about would it be a void for you to touch your heart? You look around and say, wow, where would I be without these folks, in my life that touches me? I look at our values: inclusivity, open-hearted, compassionate, free-thinking, affirming, spiritual, accepting, supportive, uplifting, and nourishing. I ask myself, if there's any great spiritual figure, whether it's Jesus, Buddha, Mary, Magdalena, Muhammad, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Gandhi, Dalai Lama, and on and on and on. Would they disagree with any of our listed values? Our values tell us who we are. Psychologists have known that for years. Alport, Lewin, all the psychologists will tell you what your values are, what you hold on to. They tell you who you are. There are times when I think how sweet it would be to be a vagabond that's having no settled home. Then I remember that growing up, I never lived any place longer than 1 year. And a few times I even went to 2 different schools in the same year. All until I left home in high school and went to the same high school for the last 2 years of my school. Having some roots in our lives gives a sense of stability. And that I have discovered also includes a set of roots in a spiritual journey. Constant cafeteria-style mystical or religious approaches rarely allow one to discover their real depth on their individual journey. In East Africa, they have a saying, alone you go fast, together we go far. The heart of the matter for me is allowing my awakening spirit to travel as far as possible in this lifetime. It is a powerful pleasure having all of you as traveling companions and spiritual family. Together, may we go far.